I am not encouraging or advising anyone to modify their firearms. This is not a tutorial. This is for entertainment purposes only. This is the last video I'm going to be making on this Tisas 1911 carry double stack. I unintentionally ended up making a whole series of videos on this pistol, piecemeal style, as I upgraded it, put more rounds through it, and got a better feel for it. A link to a playlist of all those videos is in the description. I think my unboxing, first shots, initial impressions video is a good introduction to this unofficial series. This video will be a final update where I quickly cover all the upgrades I've done to the pistol and a total final price for the build with some more shooting footage thrown in. I've done some more work to it since the budget upgrades and barrel porting videos. I've gotten some comments on my videos complaining about me wearing this balaclava, so you get a whole video of looking at me in the shiesty. Anyways, onto the pistol. Let's start with the grip, work our way to the muzzle, back hole to front hole. This is a Dawson Precision Gen 1 staccato Magwell. It fits the grip module perfectly. I blended the grip module into the Magwell. This also provides a nice little ledge for my support hand. I stippled the grip module and I contoured the trigger guard undercut and kind of just blended and smoothed up the grip module where I wanted it. Checkered the magazine release. It's not too pretty, but it's grippy, so I'm happy with it. I swapped out the mainspring housing for a steel one to add a little extra weight to the grip. I installed a new lower profile grip safety. I'm just not a huge fan of the big extended beaver tails. It doesn't fit very well, but neither did the factory one. There's lots of gaps around it. It's more of an issue with this frame and grip module. What can you expect for a pistol of this price point? I blended and contoured the back of the frame a little bit. It was sharp in a couple of spots, and then I installed a staccato ambi thumb safety. This really just came down to my preference in thumb safety profile. I didn't like the factory one. I installed a staccato trigger so I could have pre-travel and over-travel adjustment, as well as a slightly longer trigger reach for my gangly fingers. I installed a reduced power 21-pound mainspring. I polished all the ignition components, and then I initially set the trigger at like 4 pounds. However, there was still more creep than I wanted since that original trigger job. I have recut the sear primary and secondary angles. The hammer hooks were tall at about 25 thousandths, so I cut them down to 20 thou. Dropped the trigger pull to 3.5 pounds, which is the Goldilocks weight for triggers in 1911s of general use, in my opinion. If this was a defensive pistol for me, I would have left it around 4 pounds. There is much less creep now. The break is very crisp, the over travel is still minimal, and the reset is great. I slicked up and polished every surface that pivot slides or interacts with another surface, so this thing feels damn near glassy at this point. There is a looseness between the slide and the frame, but that's inherent to 1911s of this price point. The red dot is a 6 MOA hollow sun EPS. It sits nice and low, and the factory iron sights co-witness through about the bottom third of the window. I designed and 3D printed my own adapters for the Surefire X300 Ultra A and B models and the Streamlight TLR1 you see here. This gun comes with a really stupid short little 3-slot rail, so you can't run full-size weapon lights without special adapters. I wanted to run the TLR1 so I can use it with my Blackhawk Omnivore holster for range use. The simple V6 barrel porting design performs great. This thing shoots super flat and soft now. The factory barrel bushing fit was awful. It was loose in the slide. I installed a Wilson Combat one at first, but it was still loose in the slide. So I installed an EGW gunsmith fit bushing to tighten that up. I had to get a pretty specific oversized one, and it did take quite a bit of time to fit properly. I machined the diametrical clearance with the barrel to 2.5 thousandths, then polished it to a final clearance of 3. I also like the more flush look of the muzzle with this thick flange barrel bushing. Out of the box, due to the loose barrel bushing and a heavy trigger, I couldn't get much better than a 6 to 6.5 inch group at 25 yards from bag support. Here's a group I shot with the new tighter barrel bushing, same ammo as before, bag supported from 25 yards. With the exception of a flyer or two, because I'm impatient, this is about a 3.5 inch group. I'm happy with this. I think the gun is now mechanically capable of about as much accuracy as I am. So that covers everything I did to this pistol. I did all the labor and the barrel porting myself. I paid $750 for this gun, put $335 of parts into it for a total of $1,085. With the red dot sight, it's $1,415. For that price, I'm really impressed with it. This has quickly become one of my favorite pistols to shoot out of all the customized ported pistols I have. I have since seen this pistol as low as $585. That's a pretty good deal in my opinion, especially if you plan on upgrading it yourself like I have. I will be building more budget double stack 1911s in the future. Next will be the Mac 9 DS and then the LFA Apollo 11. I do want to save my money for a higher end 2011 as well, so I can see how my budget builds stack up. That's the end of this video and the series of videos on this Tisas 1911 DS. I hope you have enjoyed them. Thanks so much for watching.